We just finished a beautiful holiday called Simchas Torah, where the Jewish people take out the holy scrolls from the ark and we dance with them and we embrace them. And we thank God for having given us a year of learning His holy Torah. And we thank Him for allowing us to begin again a new cycle where we start from Genesis and we begin learning the 5 books of Moses once again. But this year as we danced, our hearts were very heavy. You see, on this day, we don't use technology, but our non-Jewish neighbors were kind enough to knock in and to tell us what was going on in Israel. Hamas entered Israel and began killing Jewish people, men, women, and children, civilians, shedding their blood. I wanted to address this issue about nations of the world who attack the Jewish people. In Zechariah chapter 2, verse 12, it tells us that anybody who touches the Jewish people, it's as if he touches his own eye. What he doesn't realize is that he's only hurting himself. He's setting himself up for evil. It is true that God has used the nations of the world to exile and to punish the Jewish people. It is true that He has used them as the rod of His wrath in order to refine us and purify us, in order to bring us to a point where we can truly serve the God of Israel as we should serve Him. But it is also true that they have gone beyond the boundaries of what God wanted, and they have relished in their role of torturing and oppressing the Jewish people. Of these people, in Zechariah chapter 1, verse 15, God says, "I have become wrathful, a great wrath at the complacent nations who, when I became but a little bit angry, augmented the evil." He says, "You've gone too far." He's not happy about this. And in fact, the Jewish people have been so incredibly oppressed, so downtrodden, that there are many people around the world who ask the question, if your God has not forsaken you, then how could you be in this condition? But this question alone testifies to the fact that these people have not read the Hebrew Scriptures, or at least have not paid attention when they have done so. For in Isaiah chapter 54, verse 7, it says, "For a brief moment I have forsaken you, and with abundant mercy I will gather you in." Jeremiah chapter 30 speaks about this. It says, people believe that our wound is too great, that there is no cure, our injuries seem too grave. But God disagrees, and He also speaks to the nations who oppress us. "Nevertheless, all who devour you shall themselves be devoured. All who oppressed you will go into captivity. All who despoiled you, I shall deliver to become spoils. For I will make a cure for you, and I will heal your wounds." The word of Hashem. "For they called you discarded. She is Zion, no one cares about her." Jeremiah chapter 30, verse 16 and 17. And there Hashem tells us that the Jewish people will be beloved as in the past, and He also warns the nations of the world who relish in their role of torturing us, that a rage shall go forth, a tempest shall seek rest, and shall rest upon the head of the wicked. Jeremiah chapter 30, verse 23. You see, the Hebrew Scriptures are full of beautiful prophecies that the Jewish people will be redeemed. Zechariah, Ezekiel, Isaiah, Zephaniah, it's all over the place. He is going to gather us one by one from the nations. On that day, He's going to say, "Nachemu, Nachemu, Ami." Be comforted, my people. And He will tell us that our period of exile has been completed and our iniquity has been forgiven, for we have received double for all of our sin from the hand of Hashem. These terrorists that are slaughtering God's holy sheep don't realize that they're just setting themselves up for a day when God will no longer hold back His wrath. He will demand an accounting of every single drop of spilled Jewish blood. Everything must be accounted for. You see, these people, they're starting up with the God of Israel. They are starting up with the Creator of the world. Of such people, God promises that ultimate destruction will come upon them. But among the righteous of the nation, those who turn from these evil ways, those who align themselves with the one God of Israel, and those who align themselves with the Jewish people, they will endure. And in those days, the Jewish people and the righteous from among the nations will worship together the one true God, and we will stream to His holy mountain. We will stream to the holy temple, which will be called a house of prayer for all peoples. It will be a beautiful day in which we are standing together, serving the one God of Israel, the one Creator of the world. But it is a choice. A person can choose who they want to belong to. Do they want to belong to those who will ultimately be destroyed, or do they want to belong to the house of Israel, to the friends of the house of Israel? Do they want to be the righteous among the nations, or do they want to be the ones who are just touching their own eye? It's a choice. Everything is a choice. Until that day of messianic prophecy is fulfilled, you know where the Jewish people are going to be? We're going to be dancing with our Torah, holding it tight. Ki hem chayenu v'arich yameinu, for it is our life and the length of our days. Am Yisrael chai, Od Avinu chai. The Jewish people live, and the God of Israel lives. We will never be destroyed.